A little bit of something different today. I'm going to go through a Q&A with some of the questions that I've got over the last maybe 4 or 5 days, because I haven't had a chance to reply to everybody on Snapchat, Instagram, and even some Facebook messages. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through some of them and hopefully help you guys out a little bit more. So the one question I get asked all the time is in relation to nutrition for teenagers, bulking up, should I cut down? And the reality is that nutritional recommendations don't differ all that much between adults and children in terms of, let's say, how many calories you should eat, how many grams of protein, carbs and fats, get your veggies in, water, all that sort of stuff, where someone like me, I'll give recommendations in relative terms of body weight. Those recommendations don't differ that much, and if you haven't already, go and check out my 3 different nutrition articles on the website. I'll drop the links in the description box below. But the main thing to realise is that the majority of we say teenagers, kids, don't have very good nutrition habits. So when they're coming to me asking me what's the best way to bulk up, should I cut body fat, they're essentially missing the forest for the trees. And it's sad that because there's so much different information out there with regards to nutrition and training, none of it is actually put into context into who it's meant for. And by that I mean, like, a 14-15 year old boy or girl has absolutely no business trying to cut down on body fat unless they are clinically obese and they've been to see someone and get, okay, you need to lose weight to improve your health markers. Other than that, if you're a 14-15 year old who's maybe 65-ish kilos and you might be a little bit body conscious and feel like you need to lose a little bit of fat to maybe fit in or get summer body or whatever it is that you feel that you need to attain to feel like you fit in with everybody else, you're going about it the wrong way. Because when you think about a 14-15 year old trying to lose body fat, they have to adhere to the same principles as adults do. So you have to get into a calorie deficit over a prolonged period of time and adhere to that for however long that's going to take to get to your desired body weight. And the problem arises then when you think about, it's the same as watching a flower grow and we say depriving it of water and the nutrients it needs to grow, and still expecting it to grow to its, we'll say, maximum height or to its biggest or to its potential. That's exactly what you would be doing if you were to put a 14-15 year old who doesn't need to clinically into a calorie deficit. There's just no need to. What you should be focusing on, regardless of what your end goal is, in, we'll say, when you reach, we'll say, adulthood, when you're talking 17, 18, regardless of what that goal is, your focus should be on developing good nutritional habits. So eating your 8 to 12 servings of veggies every day, and getting enough protein at every meal, getting enough protein throughout the day, and supplying your body with enough calories that it needs to fuel the activity that you're actually doing. I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. The focus should be on, we'd say, like, because when you're in that, we'd say 15, 16, 17 range, you're very sensitive to growth, and what you should be focusing on is, we'd say, building strength, building muscle, just being healthy. And like I said, unless you are clinically in need of losing weight to improve your health markers, there is no need for you as a teenager to cut body fat drastically. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. Teenagers get the wrong idea. I've even seen some, we'd say, like, teenage bodybuilders promoting teenagers going on a diet, and it's not right, and we're sending out the wrong message. And I know a lot of my followers, would say, on Instagram, Snapchat, and a lot of them on Facebook as well, are in that 14 to 18 range. And again, what you need to focus on is developing those good habits and not trying to or feeling like you have to conform to stereotypes of having abs or whatever it is that you feel you need to conform to. That question then is a segue into the second question. So I got a question of the day: what's the best thing or best way to bulk up? And the simple answer to that is increase the amount of food you eat. Again, you hear adults talking about it all the time, where they complain about having to diet, and you should be privileged that you're in a position where you can actually afford to eat a lot more food when you're younger, because you're so much more active than adults are. So if you feel like you've been eating for a while and haven't really gained any weight or put on any muscle if you're training as well, regardless of who you are, what age you are, the best way to bulk up is to eat more calories, and those calories obviously should increase your protein intake, because chances are that it's probably not high enough. So again, you should be aiming for at minimum 1.6 grams per kilo body weight, and then obviously adding on to that, then if you feel you need to increase your carb intake. So if your activity level is fairly intense, and we're talking, we'll say like 3 to 5 days a week, sometimes 2 days a week, or 2 times a day, then increase the amount of carbs that you're eating as well to fuel that activity, and then stick with that for maybe 2 weeks. If you feel like you're not gaining any weight still, then again you can increase those calories a little bit more. It's all trial and error, because you as an individual need to figure out how many calories that you are or you need to intake to maintain your body weight. And once you start to figure out that, then it makes it a whole lot easier then to figure out how many more calories you need to eat, because unless you know how many calories you need to eat to maintain your body weight, then you can't even begin to think about how many calories you need to eat to go into a surplus, to gain weight, gain muscle. Next question then is in relation to training, and there's a lot of really good information on training, and a lot of it is based towards, we'd say, like mature adults, in a sense of from a strength and hypertrophy standpoint, so building muscle and getting stronger. And the problem with it, when we'll say younger athletes are watching it, is that they feel then that because this information is out there, that's what needs to be done. And the reality is, while it may seem pretty basic, it's still that step above where most youth athletes are. Unless you can move effectively, and when I say move effectively, I mean be able to squat, be able to hinge, be able to do a press up, be able to perform a horizontal row, an overhead press and a chin up. So those 6 movements, once you learn how to do those effectively from a body weight point of view, then you can start to kind of make those more difficult. So you might go a single leg squat, a single leg RDL, a wide grip pull up. Again, you can always make those bodyweight exercises slightly harder. And once you master those basics from a bodyweight standpoint, then you can start to think about, okay, how can I further improve on what I'm doing now? And then that's when you start to maybe back squat. That's when you start to pay more attention to your maybe leg extension, when you're trying to increase your leg strength. Again, those sorts of exercises where you're focusing more on, we'll say, the muscle contraction and getting a training response from that against learning how to move. Because as a younger athlete, what you've got to do is you've got to learn how to move first, move effectively, because there's no point you focusing on, okay, how long do my reps need to be? What tempo should I be using? How many sets and reps should I be doing? Those things are so far ahead of where most of you younger athletes are that, again, you're missing the forest for the trees. Learn how to move effectively. Again, if you're not sure on what you need to do, ask someone, ask me. I have no problem with someone sending me a message on Snapchat or Instagram or whatever and being like, okay, I'm looking to start getting into the gym, what should I do? Learn how to squat, learn how to hinge, learn how to do a lunge, learn how to do a chin-up, learn how to do a horizontal row, learn how to do a press-up. Master those basics, make them slightly harder every so often, but don't focus on the wrong things. Don't focus on don't skip a stage in your development, because what you got to remember as well as a younger athlete, you've got so much bigger of a window that you're not confined to maybe like a 6-week training phase, where as adults, like, okay, I want to get shredded in 10 weeks or whatever it is. You've got years to learn how to do all these things. So my final tips on that would be, 1, the younger you are, the more sports you should play. So get involved in as many different sports as you can, but try and pick sports that aren't similar to each other. So you might pick, we'll say, like a field sport like GAA or hurling, again rugby, soccer, one of those types of things. Swimming is a really good one. As young as you can, get involved in athletics. Athletics is the best way for you to become a good mover. And don't pick just running. I mean athletics from the point of view of being a long jumper or a high jumper or a hurdler or any of the track and field events, because what it's going to do is going to teach you certain things that you can transfer into your sport. So if you want to become a goalkeeper in soccer, you're going to need to be able to jump well. So if you can learn how to do, we'll say, the long jump or the high jump, while it's not completely specific to your sport, it will teach you certain things that you can transfer then as you get older into your sport. Other things then, like tennis, again for those lateral movements, really good one. But the point is that you need to expose yourself to as many different movements as you can, as young as you can, as many different environments as you can, in terms of being in a field sport, a team sport, and an individual sport, because it teaches you so many different things. I'd be here forever trying to explain them to you, but as young as you can, get involved in as many different things as you can. And once you develop a kind of a catalogue of all these different movements, what it does is it makes it so much easier then for you to step into a gym environment at 15, 16, even younger than that. I've got kids in here at 12 or 13, but it makes it easier for you to step in and learn those more complex moves like a hinge, or we'll say like a hip thrust. It makes it so much easier to learn those things if you effectively learn how to move when you're younger. That's pretty much the bulk of the questions. I don't want to talk too much about it because I want to keep these relatively short, around 10 minutes each. Hopefully going to do these once a week. Hopefully going to do these once a week. So I'll take the best questions throughout the week that I get asked, and then go over them in a little bit more detail here. So if you do have those questions, you drop them in the comments box below. Get me on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. All of the links will be down below as well. And I will see you guys in the next video, whether it's a Q&A or a vlog. I will see you then.